once more again wish Baba Raila Amolo Odinga all the best. I've just come back from South Africa. I was in Johannesburg. I had a meeting with Mwalesi Mbeki, who is the brother to Thabo Mbeki. And through him, we managed to lobby and at least try to consult and even do a bit of shuttle diplomacy in South Africa, so that South Africa cannot field the candidate, but also to vote. Remember, Baba needs 2/3 of the votes out of the 50 countries, because 5 countries have been disqualified because they are coup states. You know, if you don't qualify to be in the AU, you cannot vote. So there's some countries that have been doing coups, they're not allowed to vote. So 5 countries remain with 50. So Baba needs 2/3 of that 50. So we took time to talk to South Africa, that has relationship with Botswana, Swaziland, among those other countries that are there in the southern part of Africa, and they assured us that they will not be looking at geographical, they will be looking at the qualification that Raila Odinga has. And because of the fact that AU was set up with a view of trying to ensure that member states can have economic integration, political integration, and administrative integration, AU is suffering the challenge that the assembly of members have not given a lot of power to the European Council, African Union Council, and also giving power to the Pan-African Parliament, at the same time not giving power to the human rights and people's rights courts. So they are believing that somebody of the stature of Raila Odinga, who has done all reforms in Kenya, the modern democracy in Kenya cannot be what it is without Raila Odinga. In fact, if you look from devolution to how the structure of government looks like, you see his finger everywhere. So they believe that such a person can be trusted to become the AU chair of council that will do more than Faki, because Faki made a mistake. When Ethiopia was having war against their neighbor, the Faki went quiet, yet one of the ways is to keep peace and harmony in the continent. And therefore, he lost trust of many members of the assembly, the member states, and therefore he was not given a lot of power to use, because if you give someone who cannot be trusted power, they may be misused. So stewardship that is Raila Odinga is what I was trying to sell in South Africa. Raila is a steward. He's a steward of the Kenyan democracy. He's a steward of Kenyan modern, if you like, modern development. He is also a steward of a whole community that people follow him. Raila is respected throughout Kenya, not just one part of Kenya where he comes from. So we also expect that Africa will also embrace him, and that he can be able to champion the next change. Some people said, when I heard that, oh, Raila has advanced age. Let me tell you what. If you look at the history of the church, the person who reformed the church, I mean the Catholic Church, most is the oldest pope ever. That was Pius the Sixth. He is the one who said, let us open the window so that we can receive fresh air. And when he said that, we had Vatican II Council that changed the church in a way that you have never seen. In fact, the cardinals who elected Pope Pius thought that electing an old pope who will have nothing to do. But when he came in, he's the one who transformed the church in a way you have never seen. People used to pray in church. Priests used to celebrate Mass, turning their back at the Christians. All Masses were in Latin. Now you can say Mass in your mother tongue. The priest can look at you face to face and you can talk to them. People can now talk directly to God. Before that was forbidden. So all this shows that actually the experience that Raila Odinga has amassed is what Africa needs. And I want to tell Africans, as if you listen to me, we are giving you our best. In fact, we consider it a big sacrifice if Raila Odinga will become the AUC chair. We are giving you the best. In fact, we want to retain him. There's a lot of contention in Kenya Assembly. Why is he going? Why he has not finished his work here. But I want to tell all Kenyans, all Africans, let us follow what Raila's heart wants. When he says he wants this and his heart wants it, let us give it to him. If he does not get it, he's still welcome home. So he's not gone. He's still here. He's going to be in Africa. After all, Raila has been a Pan-Africanist. He's been traversing the whole of Africa. Addis Ababa is not too far from here. So let's not people panic. But for now, we are putting all our muscle around him so that he can get what his heart desire is. Thank you. Well, I want to take this chance to feel with Bishop Margaret Wanjiru on the demolition of her church. First of all, a church is a place of prayer, and the church should not be brought into the political and legal or land issues that are there. Unfortunately, also, it's not only her church that has been demolished. I can tell you that Kiboye Parish in Kisumu was earmarked for demolition, demolition. I also remember there's a church in Ogola. The parish was also earmarked for demolition. So it's not just her church. So even if it's a church, we still will have to keep the law. But nevertheless, what was the intention of the people who went there? That one is wrong, because if they have a bad intention, you can never have bad intention against something which has been set aside by God. And if they have had a bad intention, God knows it, God should punish them. And God will punish them, and God will punish them on his own way, in his own time. But also Margaret Wanjiru, I want to give her another advice. Mixing religion and politics has been very hard. You turned your own church into meeting venues for UDA. Now, how comes the very UDA, whom you opened up your church to become like a meeting hall for UDA, have turned against you? It means you are with betrayers. And for now, I urge you, you have seen with your own eyes, watched, you have been here with your own ears, and you hear people telling you, UDA is not a place to be trusted. They have never kept their promises they made to Kenyans, and they will not keep the promise they made to you. Maybe my ask to you is, go back to where you belong. You are in Azimio. Baba stood with you when it was necessary. Go back and stand with him. And I can urge all the UDA supporters who are celebrating this Margaret Wanjiru. I can tell you, it will happen to anybody. Power is not permanent. And if you're hurting her just because she is not trying to play your dancing your music, you know tomorrow she might be on the other side that will be playing music that you need to dance to. Will they destroy your church? No. And I can also try to tell all the worshippers who have been using that church that you can still find a place to worship. You should never lose hope because God is in control. I know that the issue of the land, we shall know how it comes by. But before we go there, we should start with the following land. The land in Ruai, which William Ruto knows who owns it, and I can say he knows he owns it, should be the first one to be taken back, if at all we are talking about land justice. The other land issue is the Western Hotel. Those should be number one in the list. So start by removing the speck in your eyes. Actually, the log, I think it's not a speck, it's a log. Remove the log in your eyes before you move the speck in his own eyes. Let's go to Taita Taveta. William Ruto owns ranches there. There are so many people who own ranches that belong to the people of Taita Taveta. Give them back. Let us solve the land issue once and for all. Let us not start with this church here in Nairobi. Let's start with Coast Province. Pwani is where there is the biggest land injustice. Let's start from there. These other ones is just a joke. Thank you.